Partly as a result of immigration and the legalization of interracial marriage, we are the most ethnically and racially diverse generation in the country. When the silent generation of 1929 to 1945 was young, America was 84% non-Hispanic white. Today, it is 55%. We have the highest support for political independence and the least faith in institutions. Every generation has pivotal historical events that mark their childhood and change history. For the millennials, we have, of course, 9/11, as well as school shootings from Columbine and beyond.
Living on a military base at the time, and that changed literally how every single day started and ended. So, yeah.
Like, we're still reacting from that. Like, when 9/11 happened, I would think I was in kindergarten, so I was still really, really little. But I do remember-ish the day. Like, I remember my parents, like, were watching the news, like, pretty much all day long.
I know it was worse for my husband, because he was, he was just in college, and when they announced that, you know, he was a ROTC guy, so he was going to go into the Army, and then we're going to war.
I had seen, like, you know, cartoons, they portray stuff like that all the time.
What I can mostly think of is, like, going to the airport, and, like, even now they have, like, the whole TSA pre-check thing, and I went one time with my dad because he has enough points, he can do that sometimes. And we just went through, and I was like, Dad, is this what it was like before 9/11? Like, you just walk in, like, it was so easy. Like, it blew my mind, because, like, I grew up where you take off your shoes, you go through all this thing, in that very high security society. It totally changed things.
It's one of those events that I think when you're a kid, it can just really shake your whole world. You didn't think things like this happened. And then, or at least they didn't happen in this part of the world. And then, yeah, it's like, what? Can that happen to me? Is this, yeah.
Right.
And as a little kid, you never realize, like, how tragic it is.
I wasn't quite as old. I was a little bit younger, towards the beginning of my high school. But I do remember the same thing. I remember also, you know, having my teachers sit us all in a classroom and turning on the television. I remember having a short day in school and going home and having a lot of questions and just kind of watching it on TV. I don't know if the gravity of the situation really hit, you know, me at that time, but it was pretty scary to see all that happening. I mean, it really just looked like a movie. Was unreal.
So not as much the day, but looking back on how it changed everything, and how people talk about, well, that was after 9/11 and that was before 9/11, because so much, just, I mean, not just security and everything else, the way that you think and go about your life changed on that day.
I do remember having it impact our life as military kids, because immediately the thought was, are we even going to be able to get home tonight? Because we lived on a military base and they had shut the bases down. We started making plans for me to stay with my friend, and it wasn't really until later that the true tragedy hit me. I was a little too young to understand.
Really, for us, it defined a lot of years of our life. He was, every other year, he was gone to Iraq or Afghanistan. And we know a lot of other people in this community who, spent their 20s that way.